this, but the people that will be at the receiving end will be the elderly. Most of the lecturers will be suffering the illnesses, and then some of the other people who do their activities within the university campuses will also suffer.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Chairman, Alliance for Survival of COVID-19 and Beyond, Sina Odugbemi, says it is safer for students to remain at home to minimize the risk of spreading COVID-19, while admitting that remaining at home, the students are losing time. Odugbemi believes that the risk of sending them back to school by far outweighs that of staying at home. He also believes that the federal government has not done enough in terms of setting up the facility to curb the spread of the virus.
I'm saying that we need to up our game as a people. I, as a person and as a parent, want to keep my kids at home until it is certain, because we are in a climate where we do a lot of self-patronage. We politicize almost everything, and here we have at our hands a situation that cannot be politicized. All we need to do before we say 18th of these people should go back to school is to also ascertain that all those precautionary facilities are there. Except for that, if we are not sure of that, in my own opinion, I think our world should stay alive at home rather than getting down to the institution to go and meet their Waterloo there.
According to Odugbemi, if the students must return, parents and other stakeholders should first visit the institutions to determine if they have the right setup for resumption.
Before anyone can start beating his chest on the resumption date, the first question we should be asking is, how prepared are we? What are those things on ground in all the institutions? Are the protocols, are we sure the protocols will be observed? Are there anything in place? I think what we should be doing, what parents should be doing, what civil society organizations should be doing is get to those institutions and let us all ensure that those things are there. We need to balance this up. Yes, our wards, our children are at home losing time, but the other side of the coin is, are we willing to lose these children? If no, our emphasis should be, we get down to the field now, we get down to the institutions now, ensure that all those facilities are there.
This comes a few weeks after the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, conditionally suspended its strike, ending a protracted industrial action that started in March. Meanwhile, the leadership of the union insisted that Nigerian universities are not ready to reopen. Oyo State Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General Professor Oyewo has been discharged from the Infectious Disease Hospital Isolation Center at Yaba, Lagos. He is currently at home observing treatment in isolation for the next 14 days. The development was contained in a statement by the Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Dr. Wasiu Olatubosun. It said that Oyelowo was rushed to Lagoon Hospital on January 2nd, 2021 after an ailment that showed symptoms of COVID-19. According to Olatubosun, a chest CT scan done on Oyelowo revealed the possibility of the presence of the COVID-19 virus in his system, which led to his immediate transfer to the Infectious Disease Hospital. He expressed optimism that the commissioner will continue to recuperate from home. National Examinations Council (NECO) has released the 2020 Senior School Certificate Examination results. This was disclosed by the Registrar Professor Godswill Obioma while speaking at the NECO headquarters in Minna, Niger State. The registrar said 4 schools in Adamawa State, 2 in Kaduna State, 2 in Katsina State, 2 in Niger State, 1 in Taraba State, and 1 in the FCT were derecognized by the council for engaging in mass cheating. He also said the council blacklisted 24 supervisors who engaged in aiding and abetting participation with non-candidates to write answers on chalkboards and poor supervision. Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has dismissed a legal action challenging the validity of the primary election that produced Rotimi Akeredolu as the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress (APC) in Ondo State in the last gubernatorial election. Justice Iyang Eko, in a judgment, held that the suit instituted by one Mrs. Olajumoke Anifowoshe was statute barred having been filed outside 14 days allowed by a law for pre-election matter. The plaintiff therefore applied for an order of the court declaring that primary election as invalid and to bar the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) from recognizing Akeredolu as a governorship candidate. She also prayed the court to prohibit APC from submitting Akeredolu's name as its governorship candidate and from parading himself as gubernatorial candidate. However, Justice Eko subsequently dismissed the suit on the grounds that it was grossly incompetent to stand in the face of the law. This is 107.3 Darling FM Owerri. If you are just joining us, you are listening to the world news. In the news, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities threatening industrial action if federal government fails to meet demands. Court dismisses suit challenging Ondo State Governor's validity to contest APC primaries still to come. United States Vice President rejects invoking the 25th Amendment to remove Donald Trump. Still ahead, his business report. Stay tuned.
Missed any of the developing stories during the week? Do you want to get up to speed with the news? Tune in to the People's Radio 107.3 Darling FM at noon every Saturday for the Week in Review. The Week in Review, reminding you of the week stories today.
Thank you for staying with us here on 107.3 Darling FM. Now, the rest of the news. On the foreign scene, United States Vice President Mike Pence has told House leaders that he does not support invoking the 25th Amendment process to remove Donald Trump, all but guaranteeing an impeachment vote against the besieged president. Pence wrote to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, referring to the process that will declare Trump unable to fulfill his duties and install Pence as acting president for the remainder of the term. He believed that such a course of action is in the best interest of the nation and consistent with the Constitution. The Vice President's letter came just hours before the House of Representatives was to vote on a resolution that calls on Pence to initiate the 25th Amendment process and declare that the President is unable to discharge the duties and powers of his office. In business, Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed says the federal government is not subsidizing premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, and has no plan to do so. She also stated that the government did not make any provision for electricity subsidy in 2021 and will not subsidize power. The minister stated that the government will hold the unclaimed dividends of investors in the stock market in trust and will make the fund available when needed by an investor. On the issue of unclaimed dividends and government's accounts and projections, she stated that there will be as much as 850 billion naira to be realized into the special trust fund of unclaimed dividends. Ahmed added that the government is keeping the money in trust for the beneficiaries. She went on to urge Nigerians to abide by the stipulated COVID-19 protocols to avoid another nationwide lockdown this year. And that's the world news as produced by Ezine Glory Alozie. You can reach our news desk for coverage and eyewitness report on 0818 732 5104 or send an email to darlingfmnews@gmail.com. You can also listen to Darling FM from anywhere in the world. Go to www.darlingfm.ng and click to listen. Stay safe and don't forget to wash your hands with soap under running water and use a face mask if you must go out. I am Chidera. Rosecamille Aneke. A news update is at 5 p.m. Good afternoon.